Bank failures are coming, and the American people know this is going to happen. We were just warned by the FDIC that they have 66 what they call problem banks that have racked up just an immense amount of unrealized losses. I want to break down what's happening because as the banks are seeing all these unrealized losses, they're actually coming after you and your money. I want to explain what's going on because many people have said that yes, their bank accounts have been closed. I want to explain what's happening, and I want to read you a couple comments that have been left of you guys who are saying the exact same thing, that what do I do? How do I get out of this predicament? Well, I'm going to explain what's going on in just a moment, but all I ask is one thing. Takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates, and now let's begin. So yes, it is true. We are now hearing of more and more stories of banks, not just the small regional banks, but even some of the big banks like Bank of America, Chase Bank, Wells Fargo, Citi. They're closing accounts, not just credit cards, but also savings and checking accounts as well. In a moment, I'm going to read a couple comments where people are needing help. You may be one of them, so make sure you watch this entire video. But here's what you need to know. Banks are doing this because U.S. banks have unrealized losses that are exploding by $118.4 billion in 3 months. FDIC says 66 banks are on the problem list. Now, I want to read a little bit of this to you. It says, in its new quarterly banking profile for the fourth quarter of 2024, the FDIC, or the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, says U.S. banks reported a massive $118.4 billion increase in unrealized losses on securities, bringing the total to $482.4 billion. Okay, now, I don't want to get into why all this is happening at this time. It's happening, it's a problem, okay? But I want to read a few things to you. First, unrealized losses are the difference between the price banks paid for securities, which obviously they pay a little bit more, and the current market value of those assets. Okay? Concern over such paper losses played a major role in the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank back in 2023, as many customers went to the bank, panicked, and there was a pretty much a bank run where people were just pulling money out because they were concerned if the bank struggles, their money may be tied up. Well, listen to a couple of these things. Here's a comment or an email that I received from somebody, and the comment says, and I quote, "My name is Ashley. I'd come across your page on YouTube. I was wondering if you could help me and give me some advice. I have been with Bank of America since 2009. All of a sudden, they closed my account last week without any reason, and now won't release any of the funds that is in my account. I was not provided a reason as to why my account was closed." Okay, we're going to get to that in a moment because somebody else had a very similar comment. This person wrote to me and says, and I quote, "Bank of America closed my account this past week too. And I was told that it was due to me being a higher risk customer as I make a lot of purchases in Mexico. I travel there a few times per month for work. But I have a bigger issue that I can't quite understand. The bank rep told me that my funds are frozen until I get caught up on loan payments that I have, which aren't technically late. Here's the deal. My bank account was closed on the 3rd of this month, and my loans are due on the 27th of each month. So I don't have to make a payment until then, but the rep says I need to make the payment first before they can unlock my funds and give me the rest of my money. The problem is that this is my only bank account and I need those funds to make the payment. Have you ever heard of anything like this happening?" Actually, I have. Here's the problem. There are many instances, and Bank of America should do this, but if you call and talk to a manager, and here's the problem, and I'll give this person some advice, but call and talk to a manager, because here's what happens. if your bank account is closed, but that bank account is what is used to send payments to a specific loan account, okay, what normally happens is the bank wants to ensure that the final payment is made, okay, that even though the payment was technically like last week, but they want to make sure that the payment's made first before they release any funds. Because if they canceled your account, they send all your money away. Now what if you can't get another bank account? That's an issue. How are you going to make that payment? Or what if you spend too much time and you don't get a bank account in time? How are you going to make that payment? So essentially what these banks are doing, and Bank of America sounds like they're doing as well, they're pretty much just holding your funds to ensure that they receive their payment first. Now, in this person's case, what I would do if this was me, I'd probably call the bank rep, talk to manager and say, hey, I give you permission to use that account to make a payment. Okay, you can use that loan account. They can withdraw money from my actual account, do that, and then that payment will be, or the agreement will be satisfied. And then I could take the rest of my money and go somewhere else. Here's the problem. And this is why I've been saying this for a couple years now. Do not keep all your money in one account. I move money around and I'll do a cashier's check and I'll transfer money between one account to the next, simply because I'm concerned that what if my money gets tied up? Okay? What if my money's in the big bank and something happens and now there's issues? Or it's in a small regional bank and I just can't get my money out, right? Then I gotta rely on credit cards. How am I gonna make payments for a credit card or a house payment? Or how do I make payments to pay for food and utilities and gas and other things like that? That's the issue. So I'm not telling you take all your money out and shove it under your mattress and stick it underneath your pillow. No, I'm telling you take some of your money out and diversify. Make sure you have money in Bank of America, in Chase Bank, in your regional bank, in a credit union, an online bank. Have some money in a trading account. Have some money in cash and gold and silver. Make sure you are diversified just in case something happens. Because in this event, like this person who wrote to me, they travel multiple times a month to Mexico. Chances are they need money. So today's the 5th of March. If their payment doesn't go through until the 27th, that means they're going to have to wait almost 4 weeks, a little over 3 weeks, to get their money out of their bank account. What are they going to do for 3 weeks? That's the issue. Now, here's the problem. Banks understand that their unrealized losses continue to go up. They continue to go up. Many commercial buildings are dropping in value. Banks are going to be stuck holding on to these losses, massive losses, okay? Hundreds of millions of dollars in losses. But here's what's going on. As banks realize that they are now up against the U.S. economy, they're up against the Federal Reserve potentially lowering rates or keeping them where they're at for the next handful of months. Banks are actually going to do what they have done over the past several years, minimize their risk. The way they do that is they ensure that if they are going to issue a loan, it's going to go to somebody that has a good history, that's reputable, has a job, right? Good savings. They have a way to pay back that loan if something were to happen. Not only that, if you currently have a loan or a credit card, what they're going to do is they are going to lower your credit limit to ensure that they don't get stuck with all these additional losses. Okay? So be prepared for that because that is coming. Now, the last thing I just want to say, I don't think every single bank in the United States is just going to collapse. I don't think Bank of America, Chase Bank, I don't think Citi, Wells Fargo, I don't think they're just going to fall apart and collapse all of a sudden. You will know when it's going to happen if it happens. I don't think it will though. It's the smaller regional banks. Those are the ones you got to be concerned with because they have a massive amount of debt, especially compared to the assets they have versus the liabilities. So I will leave you with that, but that is what I would do. Go and open up multiple bank accounts, spread your money out so that you are not, you don't have any issues when these banks actually do go under. So again, that is what we know as of today, but as always, Thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.